Hi, this is Evelyn Lopez coming to you today with an innovator interview with Sunya Norman from Salesforce. On the recording today is Mitch Radcliffe, our Earth911 publisher. Mitch, how are you today?
Oh, doing great.
Great. And Sunya, where are you calling us from today?
I'm at Salesforce's headquarters in San Francisco, California.
And for those of you who don't know,
Great.
the Salesforce headquarters in San Francisco is a really an immense undertaking. It's 4 buildings in the South of Market area that are now the tallest in the city. It's really an impressive establishment.
So, Sunya, we had wanted to talk to you about sustainability at Salesforce. Can you tell me first a little bit about what Salesforce does? I know Mitch knows it's kind of a new company to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Salesforce, we're the global leader in CRM, and we help companies connect with their customers in a whole new way. We've been around since 1999. Salesforce was founded at that time with a vision of a new type of company. We created this new technology model, providing software through the cloud, and a new philanthropy model as well. Now we're a Fortune 500 company. We just turned 20 years old, and we have 35,000 employees around the globe.
Wonderful. So what's your role at Salesforce?
I am honored to be the Director of Environmental Sustainability here at Salesforce, where I lead sustainability marketing and communications, as well as stakeholder engagement initiatives. And I also get to wear another hat, which is evangelizing the Pledge 1% movement, which is an integrated philanthropy movement that Salesforce helps to co-found with other impact initiatives a few years ago that helps other companies follow Salesforce's lead and join in using their business as a platform for good.
Oh, that's really great. So how long has Salesforce been focused on sustainability and environmental issues? Has it always been a focus, or is it something that kind of developed over time?
The value of sustainability definitely was baked in when we were founded as a part of our thought that businesses could really integrate their values and really lead with those. Sustainability as a formal department has been around since 2005, and we've grown and become more and more integrated into the business since then. And we're looking to integrate environmental best practices in everything that Salesforce does globally, from how we manage our data centers and provide our products to how we engage our employees. And while we have this core team, my team, my colleagues who work full-time on environmental sustainability, we always say that sustainability is, of course, everyone's job in the company. Everyone has a role to play, and we're really fortunate to have champions all around the business that help us do our work. An example of that would be real estate. Mitch mentioned our headquarters, so we have folks in the real estate team that are helping us integrate sustainability into all of our office operations, design, and maintenance.
And let me ask now, you actually have achieved carbon neutrality. You did it in 2017 and continue to try to optimize the whole process of running the company. So you're carbon neutral on the cloud. In other words, the service doesn't use carbon. It actually, I think, is net negative. Your buildings, however, are you actually carbon neutral in all the buildings at this point?
Yeah, we deliver all of our customers a carbon neutral cloud, and we're net zero greenhouse gas emissions as a company. Mm-hmm. So from a building perspective, we're not there yet, but we've taken a number of really important steps. We have a lot of commitments, like I mentioned, to integrate sustainability best practices into our office design. Mm-hmm. We look at everything from where we choose to have our offices. We like to site our offices in urban centers so we can take mm-hmm. advantage of green infrastructure, public transit, things like that. But we also have a design standard that's incredibly focused on sustainability, everything from managing construction waste to the types of materials that we bring into our offices.
And so you're buying carbon credits and doing other things to offset what's left of your carbon footprint. And the benefit over time will be that you won't have to pay those carbon credits and you will be carbon neutral.
The way that we look at it is we do everything that we possibly can to avoid having negative environmental impact, to avoid having those greenhouse gas emissions in the first place. Of course, that's the best option, best place to start. And anything that we can't avoid, we look to address through either renewable energy or carbon credits. But we really make sure that those carbon credits, when we are using them to close any remaining gap, like you mentioned, we really look to have high quality carbon credits that are verified by third parties and have a demonstrable carbon credits that are verified by a third party and we know are really having a positive impact on the environment.
Right. It's not simply being traded for other people to put carbon into the environment. It's actually being sequestered, which is a significant difference for a lot of people don't understand.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, how important, and I know that I have known Mark Benioff, who's the founder of the company, since long before he was the founder of the company. His social commitment, and from the very beginning, he articulated, like you said, a new model for delivering services and was really the first to see the power of the cloud. But he's consistently taken some of the money that he has accrued and put it back into the communities in ways that many other CEOs simply don't do. He's supporting public and private schools in San Francisco. He has taken social positions about various laws around the country, and even in the case of Indiana, moved employees out after an anti-gay legislation passed. So he lives his commitment. How important is that to the fact that Salesforce lives that commitment every day? If there were no Mark, there would be no Salesforce, but would Salesforce live this way? Would it live the commitment?
I think it's really important for every business who wants to really walk the talk to have both the top-down support and the bottom-up support. Mm-hmm. So we are incredibly fortunate to have founders, Mark Benioff, but also our other founders who had a vision that was beyond the status quo. Mm-hmm. So that's a great starting point for any company to have not only a really innovative company where new ideas are fostered and innovation is kind of the price of entry. We're all expected to continue to improve and grow and innovate. But the idea that values can be expressed through business, I think, is a really special one. So having leadership, Mark and others, we now have an amazing executive leadership team that supports us across the board. Having them tell us that it's really okay to bring these topics into normal business topics is incredibly important. But then we also are incredibly fortunate that we have grassroots support from employees and customers. So we're really hearing from every stakeholder that we engage with that they care about these topics and they support us in being credible and taking action.
Can you give an example of a grassroots effort? How does a good idea bubble up inside Salesforce about sustainability?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Salesforce is an incredibly transparent place to be, and we have all sorts of different channels. One is Chatter, which is one of our products that allows us to voice our opinions and give feedback as employees. And so often some of these good ideas come via Chatter. We have our Earth911 Green team, many passionate employees around the world. We actually have over 6,000 members, which is really exciting. So we might see a Chatter post from somebody asking, what about this? Have we thought about looking at the way that we integrate plants and biophilic design into our spaces? Or, I'm really passionate about sustainable food. Could we have different options in our snack program? So those are just a few of the ideas that come in, and Chatter is a great way for that to happen. But Earthforce has just become this amazing movement for us that allows us to have a presence around the world at every office where we operate, not only doing great work internally within Salesforce's four walls, but also engaging with community members and nonprofits.
Evelyn?
So, Sunya, would you say that anything that you've tried since you've been in charge of sustainability efforts was more successful than you had anticipated it would be? Give me an idea of something that you sort of thought, oh, this might work, but actually it turned out to be really, really very effective.
I think something that's really taken off is the employee engagement that we do around sustainability. Engaging employees and listening to them and making them feel valued has always been a core part of Salesforce's DNA. We have something called volunteer time off, which is really incredible. So employees actually get paid to do volunteer work with whatever cause they're passionate about. So there was already a baseline of employee engagement before we started our formal Green Team program. But we've just been wowed by how many volunteers we've gotten to step up and on top of their day job, lead an Earth911 team in their local office, sometimes giving 20 to 30 hours of their time over a quarter to help engage their coworkers, to bring in guest speakers, to organize celebrations like Earth Month celebrations. So that's been really encouraging. Another example I would give where things have been more successful than maybe we had anticipated is, again, in our real estate strategy. We're really fortunate that our real estate team has been thinking very outside of the box in terms of using our office spaces to be the real life examples of our values and to create a certain experience that is really presenting our brand and what we stand for to anyone who comes into our spaces. So what's been so powerful is real estate using sustainability as one mechanism to do that. One of those examples is in our offices, we have this carpet that was created by the company Interface. You probably are familiar with them. They're one of the leading companies thinking about how to really source and design products differently. And so,
particularly office products, yes, absolutely. Great company.
So we have these carpets in our offices that's a part of our standard design that's upcycled fishing nets. And so it's incredibly sustainable from a sourcing perspective, but just tells a great story. And we end up, this carpet is kind of a unique look. It's designed to look like a green grass with a pathway running through it. And so we get a lot of questions about it. So it becomes a conversation starter with customers, employees, and other visitors. So this is just an example of how it's wonderful to have these initiatives, but also helps to continue the conversation and create a ripple effect.
Well, and it sounds like for Salesforce, you really, as you've said, you've had this orientation from the beginning. But have you found that as time has gone by, that your customers are really interested in what you're doing for sustainability, and whether that's becoming a factor in customers making decisions about where they want to either invest or what services they want to use?
Our customers are definitely interested in sustainability. I think they're seeing it like we are as a growing global megatrend. We have conversations with top executives at events like the World Economic Forum in Davos, the Global Climate Action Summit. We're seeing businesses and business leaders from different regions around the world really thinking with new perspectives around the types of risks and opportunities that climate change brings us, and more thinking on the opportunity side, which I think is particularly exciting. And so we're certainly having customer conversations where we're sharing best practices and trying to think about what it means to be a successful company in the fourth industrial revolution, where expectations are changing, technology is changing, and we really need to think differently.
And you mentioned earlier that you source some of those ideas from customers. Are there examples of a customer-initiated project that has been successful?
Yeah, well, Interface is a great example. They're a customer of ours and obviously one of our suppliers for our offices. We also look to get inspiration from other industries. Apparel is one that we've been watching closely. Adidas is a great customer of ours. They have this shoe line that you might have heard of called Parlay, which is taking plastic waste from the oceans and using it as an input to create the product. So we obviously are not manufacturing shoes, but I think that mindset is inspirational to us, and we're always looking for ways to think about how we might take that and put it into our context, but also celebrate what they're doing. So there's actually an Adidas shoe display. The Parlay shoe is displayed in the lobby of the Salesforce Tower currently.
So you said a moment ago that values can be expressed through business. How is that affecting the way that you market Salesforce? Is sustainability core to how you message the offer that's from Salesforce, or is it? Do you feel it's just a check mark item that you have to have in order to be competitive?
It's a great question. I think in the technology space, we're fortunate to have a number of peers who are incredibly leading. We're a sector that has been loud and proud about sustainability and moved maybe more quickly than other sectors have been able to. So it's becoming table stakes for sure. Certainly being transparent and reporting our initiatives, our targets, and our progress is expected. We are asked by customers all the time when they're considering our products to become a customer. They're constantly asking us to provide data to them, ESG data. But what we're also seeing is that the cloud is just a great option for environmentally friendly technology because of how it's delivered. It doesn't have the infrastructure footprint that on-premise solutions used to have. And then on top of that, by being able to claim that we have a carbon neutral cloud, I think it's just kind of a cherry on top.
What kind of things do you have planned for the future? Is there anything you can share with us about things that are coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned that we have a 100% renewable energy commitment. We just announced last year that we anticipate we'll achieve that in fiscal year 2022. So that's just around the corner. We're really
that is.
We're also asking our suppliers to make science-based reduction targets themselves. So doing more with influencing the whole entire Salesforce value chain. Another thing that we're excited about is the UN Secretary General's Climate Summit in September in New York. We think it's so important, and we participated actively in the Global Climate Action Summit here in San Francisco in September. So important for businesses to be expressing what they expect world leaders to do in terms of taking climate action. So being at the table, raising our voice, collaborating with others, it's really important to help everyone accelerate climate solutions.
Well, congratulations on getting so far. And it's really encouraging to hear you getting to those goals as soon as you are, because you're way ahead of the rest of the economy, and more power to you. Thank
you. Yeah, immediate action is certainly what the planet needs. So we're doing what we can as quickly as we can, and certainly encourage others to join us.
Well, that's just wonderful. I'm very impressed by this. Is there anything else that you wanted to tell us before we end our interview, Sunya?
Well, I'd say if you're a company listening out there that's just getting started, I'd encourage you to act now. Like I mentioned, we don't have a lot of time. This is an urgent issue, and everyone has a role to play. So don't get intimidated by trying to be perfect right out the gate. We all are on a journey, and I think the most important thing is to start the discussion, to start taking action. And what I always advise companies to think about is aligning their strategy, their values-based work, their social and environmental impact to their core competency. So think about what your company does best and use that lens and apply it to impact. So for Salesforce, we're a technology company, cloud company. We're using that to advance clean energy around the world, focused on digital transformation, scaling, etc. But your company has something special. What's your special sauce? I encourage you to think about that and bring it into the climate action space.
I think that's excellent advice.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, that's all for this innovator interview, and we will be back with you next time.
Take care, everybody.